Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play The Binding of Isaac, which I know must seem like it's completely out of left field unless you watched my update video, in which case I did mention it, but we're actually going to try and get back to Platinum God. I was at Platinum God, but I decided to reset my stats. If we go to my stats here, I have 0 of everything. My collection has been pretty much entirely reset, actually entirely reset. The only problem, I was going to, I don't know if I mentioned this, I was going to show my deletion of my save on here, on camera, but for some reason you actually have to restart Isaac for the effects to take place. So that was going to be kind of weird to record. But we're going to go ahead and start playing as Isaac here, of course. We can't really play as anybody else at this point. Unfortunately, we started off with the Cellar 1, which, of course, is the harder version of the basement. Basically, when the Wrath of the Lamb was released, I almost said Wrath of the Gods. Since we got the golden key, might as well walk in here and see what they have. I don't obviously have any money right now, so I can't buy anything. But I'm probably going to call Wrath of the Lamb, if I ever mention it again, Wrath of the Gods, because of Dark Souls. If you're familiar with Dark Souls, there is a spell or something called Wrath of the Gods. Anyway, when Wrath of the Lamb was released, they basically had an alternate floor for each of the floors, like the basement and the cellar here. And the cellar, unfortunately, is the harder of the two. Fortunately, because it is still the first floor, we're not in too much danger of hopefully not taking any damage, but much less, dying at all. There is a lot of health laying on the floor. I might go back and play that sacrifice room thing. When I played through the game the first time to get a Platinum God, I really never dealt, and I got a lucky secret room here. I believe that might even be the super secret room. And we get an eternal. Well, I should not have picked that up. I got kind of eager there to pick that up because of, it gives us an extra heart container, but I should have waited until I beat the boss. Anyway, in our first item room, we get Rage, which is okay, I guess. I like it, but apparently it's not as good as I might have once thought. Fortunately, we are fighting Pin, which is a very easy boss. Now, Pin, I have sort of a strategy that I don't really see many people use. If you just stand up here in the top left, you will be able to get him to loop over and over up into the top left corner, which kind of helps as far as keeping him in front of you and not letting him, jump into you, because even though it's easy to dodge Pin, you can still take damage fairly easily, I would say, because you're not entirely sure ever where he's going to pop out, but if you use a strategy, you will be able to tell. Now, I know I've started off this Let's Play like I know everything about the Binding of Isaac, but that is certainly not the case, and hopefully I don't make that impression too much more, because like I said, I don't know probably maybe even half the stuff about this game, but we're going to use this pill to get a Tears Up. That is always good. And we get the Chariot card. I might end up using that for, maybe a boss fight coming up or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but we did get to keep our Eternal Heart, so that is always a good thing. Unfortunately, I am so good at dodging that I can dodge straight into enemy fire. If I had to say, I had a superpower in gaming, it would probably be dodging into enemy fire in the Binding of Isaac. I don't know what it is, I can be completely out of harm's way and just dodge straight into an enemy attack. It happens almost every time, but we get the deck of cards here. I actually kind of thought that the deck of cards was an item that you had to unlock by doing something else, but apparently not. Might as well go ahead and use it just to get the charge up, and I might as well go ahead and use, I did not mean to use that, I meant to use the lovers. Apparently I'm going to be making absolutely ridiculous rookie mistakes right off the bat, but it is Isaac. The game has a tendency to make players, in my experience anyway, do things maybe that aren't quite as smart, or, smart players make dumb decisions, it seems like, in the Binding of Isaac, and I'm definitely not one to be able to escape that, line of thinking, I guess, but we did get a key there, so luckily, and we don't really have much, money, so we won't really be able to go to the boss, or not to the boss, to the item room, or not to the item room either, to the shop. I'm probably going to get every name of everything mixed up in this Let's Play, but that's actually kind of another goal I have for this Let's Play. I really want to kind of learn more about the Binding of Isaac. I believe that is a Tears Up, and there we go. So we got 2 Tears Up from pills already. Might as well go ahead and check out that room I didn't go to. There's probably some more rooms up there other than just that one. But for this Let's Play, I really want to kind of familiarize myself with more Isaac mechanics and kind of I guess, names of enemies and stuff like that, because even though I've beaten the game countless times, however many times you need to get Platinum God, I still don't know the names of, any of the enemies hardly. I know the names of most of the bosses, which I guess is an okay, kind of the silver lining of the, the problem here. But as far as, I guess these are just called spiders, I have no idea. Most of the names that I call enemies or whatever are what I know from Northernlion, which I've actually probably watched Northernlion more than I've actually played the game myself over the years. But yeah, most of the names that I call enemies are probably going to be whatever Northernlion called them. I don't actually remember what any of these enemies are called here, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. Now, another thing that I want to talk about in this Let's Play, and this opening episode is going to be mostly, you know, I guess, I was going to say accounting stuff, that doesn't really make sense, but more like just information about the Let's Play, and of course, you know, talking about some Isaac as well. But this is mainly, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, sort of a bridge series between the Kingdom Hearts 2 Let's Play and my next Let's Play, which, like I said in the update video I did, I can't really do until I get a capture card, which hopefully, like I said, I'll be able to get at the end of the month. And I need the capture card to be able to do the series that I want to do, which is why I was actually going to wait just until I got the capture card to start the series, but that would have made it like, you know, a month, or not, maybe not a month, a couple of weeks between series, which is definitely not a good thing. I don't know why I'm taking so much damage. Luckily, I have the Lover's card here. But yeah, I kind of want this to be a bridge series between that last series and this series. I'm going to go ahead and use the Lover's card. But I will continue, and that's a really good card, I will continue the Binding of Isaac Let's Play if it turns out that you guys enjoy this Let's Play, because I think it will be a fairly fun Let's Play, because almost all of the runs, or pretty much every run, is going to be different from any other run, which is always a good thing with roguelike games. And I've always wanted to add a roguelike game to my channel's rotation, and I guess The Binding of Isaac is going to be the best one. Now, I'm trying to find the secret room here. I might as well go ahead and waste one more bomb. I really don't like wasting too many bombs to find the secret room, but there was only a couple of places that it could have been. That's not too good here. Might as well go ahead and use my only 2 coins on the machine here. Maybe I can get a good trinket. That is Child's Heart. I'm not even sure what Child's Heart or Child Heart or whatever does. Safety Cap, on the other hand, does give you more pills, I believe. So I think I would rather, apparently we're gonna, did I just pick up both of them? It kind of looked like it did there. I would rather have Safety Cap in this situation because I know that it gives you more pills. I'm not entirely sure what Child's Heart does. And that just kind of goes to show that I'm not entirely sure what most of the things in this game do. And I probably should have used my deck of cards there so I could have got some extra charges and stuff. But that's another thing that I kind of wanted to point out. Even though I have beaten the game and I've gotten Platinum God, I guess that's the only way you can really beat Isaac, because each individual run I wouldn't really consider beating the game in any way. But I am definitely not a character to min-max all of my runs. And if you're not familiar with that term, basically I am not the most efficient player. I would like to be, but as of right now, I would not say that I am the most efficient player. So hopefully before the end of the series, I will become more of an efficient player. And we've unlocked the Radioactive Spider, which I think that might be Quad Shot, but I can't remember. It's been a long time since I unlocked the beginning of the game kind of stuff. But here we got the 8-ball, Magic 8-ball, I guess. It says it tears up, but I do believe that I've heard that the 8-ball is a shot speed up, so I guess that wasn't as good as it was advertised to be. But here we get a 2 of clubs, which I believe doubles our bombs. I should probably hold on to this. Let's see. I'd rather hold on to the world card, even though we're only going to Mom in this run. I would still rather have the world card because I would not like to waste too much time should we accidentally run into a Necropolis floor or something like that. But yeah, we only have to go to Mom in this run, which is definitely a good thing because Mom, of course, is probably, I was gonna say the easiest boss, but that's definitely not true. The easiest in-game boss, I guess. Unfortunately, we got a Tears Down there, so it kind of counteracts the balance that we've gotten with the other Tears Up pills. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we've got 2 Tears Up, I believe. So unless we get another Tears Down, we will be ahead in that category. And luckily, we got some more bombs. I guess we already had some bombs, but it's always good to get more. Now, these rooms here, I'm not even sure what these are called. I think, I don't even know. Usually I don't go for whatever's in these, and we did get a Tears Down. I almost want to take it just for like the poetic justice there of getting, you know, counteracting the Tears Up we've already gotten. Definitely not going to actually do that though. Like I said, I'm not a min-maxing player, but I'm not one to try and make the game ridiculously hard for myself either by like gimping myself with challenges. I'm not even sure if that is something that people do in general. Luckily, we do have Bloody Rage, or Bloody Lust, or Rage, I guess is what I usually call it, so we should be able to make short work of these enemies here. I don't remember, oh yeah, I was saying that I don't usually go into these rooms, or I usually go into them, but I don't actually usually take whatever's in them, even if it is a golden chest. Sometimes I will if it's a golden chest, but if it is a silver chest, usually I do not. Actually, I don't know if you could even call those silver chests, but the other regular chests that you don't have to have a key to open, usually I do not actually go into those. And I don't know what's going on with my items here. It seems like if there is an item in, or 2 items in one spot, I have a tendency to pick them both up at once. And there we go. Nope, I have the moon now. I want to pick up the world and take that with me. the moon, I believe. Actually, I might as well go ahead and use the moon because that will take me, I believe, to the secret room. And there we go, and we get the Ankh, which if we die, will turn us into another character, so that could be kind of good as far as it's kind of like a one-up. Unfortunately, when we get our extra life, we are not going to be the same character that we were when we started the game, but luckily, kind of to counteract that balance, I guess, we got that turret thing in the middle, or the... I'm not even sure what those enemies are called. See, I don't know what the enemies are called, but he opened up the path to this chest right here, so it's lucky we got a bomb out of that, and I believe 2 cents, so I did not look that clearly. Now, I love rooms like this when you have rage, because you get, there are so many rooms or so many enemies in this room that it becomes fairly easy to fill up your rage, and luckily we have some keys that we can go in here. That is actually pretty good. At first I thought it was going to be Yum Heart, but it is actually the health upgrade, which I probably should have waited to pick that up because I wanted to go in the curse room. I think that would have filled up my health, so it probably would have been good to wait until I actually had some health to replenish. But from the curse room, we get a spirit heart, and that's always good. And we get another spirit heart. That is why I pretty much always go to curse rooms. I know a lot of people don't like them. I actually didn't like them too much when I first played through the game. I'm not sure if I want to try and get this. Might as well. It's probably not entirely necessary. Might as well go ahead and try and see if there's anything good in here, though. I definitely did not try to go for curse rooms when I played through my first Platinum God run. I do believe that is another Tears Down. I don't know what's going on. I guess the troll engine is in full effect here because we've got like 3 Tears Down pills in a row. I guess that's what I get for trying to game the system and take the safety cap to try and, maximize my chance. Even when I try to min-max my runs, it just does not work. But here we get another pill. Hopefully it's like if I had to hope for something, I would hope for Balls of Steel. Friends till the end. That is a pill that is definitely not a bad thing. I'm not sure how good you can say it really is, because all it does is give you these 3 flies or whatever. They kind of kamikaze into whatever enemies you might happen to come across, so it's not like, the halo of flies that you can sometimes get. I think it's called My Best Friend, or no, it's My Best Friend is another enemy entirely, or another item I should say. I'm not sure what the pill is that gives you a rotating fly, or a familiar pretty much, an orbital I think is what they're called in some situations. Whatever that one is, that one to me is much better than the Friends Till the End, because the Friends Till the End just go away eventually. They, like I said, they kind of kamikaze into each other. But anyway, I'm going to try and drop some bombs in here to maybe make shorter work of our kind of diagonal Larry Jr. I'm not sure if this is still classified as a Larry Jr. or not. In any case, this is definitely an easy boss to take care of. The only thing that really makes it hard whatsoever is that when you defeat a segment or whatever, it will drop and split into these silkworms. I'm, like I said, not sure if that's actually what they're called. I just know that some people call it that. But overall, the diagonal nature of this boss doesn't really faze me too much, I don't believe. Some bosses do, though. Like I forgot what it's called. There's one later on in the game called Teratoma. It acts like that boss. It splits up into... Actually, its base form is these silkworms. I forgot what it was actually called. But it has a diagonal, kind of nature to it. A DVD screensaver is how I consider it, because when it hits a wall, it just kind of bounces off. I don't consider that boss that hard either. I'm not sure if I made myself clear there at all, because, like I said, not knowing the names of bosses is kind of detrimental when you're trying to explain your hatred or love for another boss. But here we're fighting Larry Jr. in just a regular room setting. That is one thing I kind of do like about games, like, even Binding of Isaac. Of course, I wouldn't really consider this an RPG, and it looks like that other Larry Jr.'s got himself stuck over there. I think I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that, and just pelt him into oblivion here. But yeah, I do like it when games have bosses at the beginning of the game that just become regular bosses, or regular enemies toward the end. Kind of like, I guess, I'm just going to go ahead and get this chest here. Dark Souls does that very well, I believe. I don't know if I mentioned this. This is actually my second time trying to do this episode, and we get a luck down. I guess we're just going to get some good pills in the beginning and no good pills after that. I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, because like I said, I've had to do this twice, and I can't remember what I said in the first run and what I said in the second run. But Wrath of the Lamb is the Binding of Isaac expansion pack, I guess you could say. Wrath of the Gods is a spell in Dark Souls, and I have not been using my deck of cards too much, so I need to definitely consider using it more. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up, put it down, just so I can get it in my collection and get it out of the rotation. But anyway, Dark Souls has a spell called Wrath of the Gods, which I almost always confuse with Wrath of the Lamb, only recently, because I've just kind of recently started playing Dark Souls. I've actually seen a kind of a cool trick for this kind of room, by the way. Normally, you would probably think that you would have to use 2 bombs to get in here. Apparently, if you put a bomb like right there, you go out and you come back in, it will be a big enough explosion, and there we go. I actually did not know if that was going to work or not. It'll be a big enough explosion to blow up 2 rocks, meaning that you only have to, of course, blow or use 1 bomb instead of 2. Might as well go ahead and go in this item room. Unfortunately, we only got some pills, which one of is a tears down, but I'm not sure what the other one is if we've gotten it yet. We have not. We have gotten a luck down, so I'm not sure if that will affect what this is. Speed up. I can deal with that, I guess. And luckily, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, we did get a sun card, which acts as a map and a compass. It refills your health and damages the enemy, and probably something else that I can't remember. So I will definitely be holding on to that as long as I can. We do have some extra floors or extra rooms on this floor that I'm not entirely sure that I need to go to. Like I said before, the Mom's Heart, or the regular Mom boss fight, Mom's Foot or whatever, is the only boss that we're going to have to use or fight in this game. Of course, these little, at this point of the game, I would kind of consider the bosses that we've fought so far mini bosses, even though I know they're technically like end-of-floor bosses or whatever. The in-game bosses like Mom's Heart and Mom and Isaac and Blue Baby, I don't really consider those spoilers because this game has been out for quite a while now, and it's not really, plot-oriented. Those are more end-of-the-game bosses, I guess. The only end-of-the-game boss that we're going to be fighting in this episode, of course, is Mom. And since we're only fighting Mom, I don't really think that we need to, like I said, min-max our run, because I am pretty, confident we're going to be able to take out Mom. Now, we have gotten the Spelunker helmet or whatever. I guess that is a pretty good thing. What I probably could do, actually I cannot because I do not have any keys right now. I could probably try and make my way into the arcade. The arcade is a room that I never really tried to do anything in either when I first played through the game. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Might as well see if this is a secret room. Unfortunately, is not. I would kind of like to get maybe a good item out of the secret room if I could find it. I will probably try this one more spot over here. It could be, I mean, I'm not even sure if it's one spot that it could be or not. Yeah, it's not even a place that it could be. I thought maybe this room would go up right there, or maybe that way. I'm not sure what I was even thinking. That's a luck down pill. I probably should not use that. I'm not going to look for the secret room anymore, I guess, even though I'm not sure if I used a bomb down here. Might as well go ahead and try here. This is kind of along the lines of what I was thinking that might happen, and there the secret room is. Unfortunately, all we got is a bunch of money, which at this point, I am not really too keen on going to the shop because I don't really feel like looking for more keys. And that is one thing you might notice about my Binding of Isaac play. I'm not exactly, like I know I've mentioned the min-maxing thing, I'm kind of a lazy player. Anything that I can do to make my run easy without having to, do a whole lot of work, that is probably what I'm going to do. In that situation, I don't really feel like it's even worth going to look for keys because we have so much health right now that it is probably not worth, wasting health to go look for a key to get into the shop, even though in the shop we might have gotten, a compass or something like that, because, and another kind of facet to this is I'm only kind of thinking along this mindset because we are only going to Mom. If we were trying to get to Mom's Heart or maybe, I don't know, Isaac or Satan or whatever, I'd probably try a little bit harder. I'm taking the flat penny right now, by the way, because I would like to get a couple more keys. At this point in the game, I have a feeling that the safety cap might be a better chance. I've always found that the flat penny is a better thing to use at the beginning of a run, or near the closest to the beginning of the run that you can be, I guess. Now, like I said, I do kind of like rooms like this because you can build up rage faster. One thing I'm not sure about rage, though, is if it will drain or if it will kind of lower your damage to start with to kind of compensate for the fact that it gives you so much extra damage. And that's actually another thing. I'm not even sure how much extra damage it does give you. I've actually heard a lot of people say that rage is probably not worth it, though I kind of do like rage. The only situation I can see that rage would not be useful would be if it lowers your initial damage. In that case, of course, it would probably not be worth it. Otherwise, though, it would be just like a damage upgrade in some ways. Unfortunately, these enemies are probably some of the harder ones we fought so far in this run. I don't know why I'm having so much problem with these, because I usually do not. Actually, I take that back. I usually do. For some reason, these hoppers, or whatever they are, have always given me probably the most trouble per, difficulty like the actual enemy is. Spiders are another thing. For some reason, I have a problem with spiders that I probably should not have. Now, it looks like we've run into a dead end here. Luckily, we picked up a bomb and a key there, so we will probably be able to make our way back to the other side. And I want to go into the item room here, or the shop, and we do get a compass, which is probably a good pickup. Might as well go ahead and pick up this key right here, and we'll be able to go into the item room as well. And I really like the compass because it shows us where all this stuff is, of course. I'm trying to think. I was going to go in there and I might try and use one bomb to get these coins and maybe get Another key. That's exactly what I wanted. And I can open this chest here and get a speed upgrade, the belt, which I'm not sure, I guess that's not too bad of a thing. Usually speed upgrades are not my cup of tea. I would rather have, of course, like, I don't know, a damage upgrade or maybe not a luck upgrade. That probably wouldn't help too much. Like, maybe a tears upgrade or something like that. But I guess if beggars can't be choosers, a speed upgrade might not be such a bad thing. The only thing is sometimes in Isaac, I feel like too much speed can be detrimental. I've never thought to myself and said that damage, oh man, I'm doing too much damage, that probably isn't a good thing for my run. Sometimes I will say that for speed, like you'll go too fast and it just won't work out. Unfortunately, it looks like they've got me kind of boxed in here. I might actually have to end up using my sun card earlier than I wanted to. I kind of wanted to wait and use it on the boss, either of this floor or the next floor, because I believe, yeah, we're on the depths 1 right now. You know what? I guess I'm just going to walk into fire and make my decision a little bit easier. I'm probably going to have to use it. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use it on this room. I know that's kind of, it might seem kind of silly, but I would rather just go ahead and use it and not even have to deal with that room than have to deal with the room and use it on the boss, like maybe accidentally forget to use it or something like that, because I've definitely done that. Have like a sun card in my pocket, you know, decide to use it on the boss, and then forget to use it entirely. So I thought we would just avoid that situation pretty much entirely and just get on with our lives, I guess. But we have picked up another key here. I'm not going to even bother searching the upwards area up there because I don't think it's really necessary. If we were going to Blue Baby or, you know, Isaac or Satan or something like that, I probably would, because in those situations, you have to be a little bit more prepared. And like I said, in the situation where we're only fighting Mob, probably not a big deal to try and get as strong as possible, especially, I wouldn't have known this before, but we are fighting Monstro here. I'd like to maybe not hit him. I don't know how he got out of that loop right there. I was just about to say, luckily we got him into a loop, or we can loop him. I don't know how he got out of it, though. That's, of course, not under my control, I guess. I don't know if I've ever lost the loop on Monstro, though, so maybe it is under my control. I've also never seen him jump that many times, but luckily it looks like we have rallied him back, or lassoed him back into the loop here. And that's kind of a double-edged pun there because of the loop being the rope in this situation. Anyway, might as well go ahead and use my deck of cards here so I can maybe get a charge here on the Monstro boss fight. Hopefully he doesn't break out of the loop again, because I could probably... I don't know what's going on with Monstro breaking out of the loop. I've never had this much problem keeping him in the loop, because the loop, of course, in a Monstro boss fight, when he can spawn those, you know, bullet laser fly things, probably best to keep him where he can't attack you. Luckily, we did get Maggie unlocked here because I have so much health, which, of course, I have 7 heart containers now. I guess that is how you beat Maggie, and I accidentally pressed the F key there in the middle of the cutscene. Apparently that makes the screen go into full screen mode, which is not what we want for Binding of Isaac, or is not how I usually play Binding of Isaac. I'm not sure about you guys, but I actually usually play Binding of Isaac, like I'll put on a podcast or something like that. I will mute Isaac entirely and just listen to a podcast or whatever, have the, you know, the video up there or whatever, and play Binding of Isaac. That's how I played for probably the 200 hours that I played the Binding of Isaac. Now, I do have a fair amount of money and a fair amount of keys here. I really don't even care about going to the arcade. That might be something that I change over the course of this Let's Play or something, going to more arcades. But I don't know if I mentioned this, I really never felt like arcades were that big of a deal. I know you can get the blood bag in there, you can get Skatole or whatever that one enemy or that one item is that lets you like repel flies or something like that. You can get the dollar bill, you can get a bunch of hearts, you can get keys, bombs, spirit hearts, you can get pretty much everything in there, I guess. And if there is a fortune teller machine in there, you can get a trinket, I guess, of some kind. I just never really felt like it was that worth it because I usually don't have enough money to go in there. Even if I do, I feel like that money might be better served going to a shop. On the other hand, though, on the Womb, when there are no shops, I found that arcades can be kind of useful, especially if you have the D20 and you can cheese the arcade a little bit by re-rolling all of the items in there, and that kind of works well with the D6 sometimes as well, if you get, you know, the blood bag or whatever. Anyway, Chubb should be about dead here. Chubb is one of those enemies that I like later on in the game, probably because I have a little bit more damage than I do right now, and it's not quite so tedious trying to fight Chubb when you have more damage. Chubb is one of those enemies that is really easy to dodge, but it becomes kind of a bullet sponge at some points. Now, unfortunately, we are fighting the Mini Masks of Infamy, I guess. I don't know what they're actually called. These are probably my least favorite enemies in the entire game because of their, lock-on mechanic, they can lock onto you, it seems like, from across the room, which you have to hit them from behind. Actually, that is just the regular Mask of Infamy. I take that back. Or the boss Mask of Infamy. These are not quite as hard because when you take the heart out, the Mask of Infamy will die as well, which I got a little mini chest out of my chest there, and that's another luck down. I probably should have remembered that. But the Mask of Infamy, regular enemy, is not too bad. I don't like it too much. But the boss Mask of Infamy is probably my least favorite enemy in the entire game because of the distance at which he can lock onto you and run at you. And for those enemies, or for that boss, you do actually have to hit them from behind, which when they can kind of lock onto you and go really fast, that's really hard to get behind them and actually do a substantial amount of damage. Overall, it kind of reminds me of Chubb a little bit because it is not that hard to dodge and not that hard to do damage to over a course of time, but it becomes mostly, I should say, a bullet sponge at that point, and I don't believe it has a health bar, so it's kind of a compounded error there in my situation anyway, or my opinion anyway. We could go in here and fight a mini-boss, but I do not feel like that is necessary whatsoever. If I had to ask for an item right now, it would be some sort of damage upgrade for the boss, but I'm not sure that we would get that in the item room. I mean, we already went to the item room, in the shop, or in that mini-boss room, and of course that other room in the top left there, I'm sure we would not get a damage upgrade there either, and I know I just missed a key right there, but since I'm going to the boss right here, the final boss we're going to be fighting, might as well go ahead and use this key doubler that I've been holding on to for a while. Since we're going to be going to Mom right here, and we're one room away, I don't feel like picking up that key is entirely necessary at this point. Luckily, we are building up our rage quite nicely in this room. Unfortunately, rage does not carry over to, subsequent rooms or whatever. Might as well go ahead and use this. We do get the Sun card, which is probably the best card that we could be getting before going into our Mom's foot boss fight. Almost said Mom's heart. I've actually seen a strategy where you can stand down here. I've seen a lot of people stand down there and just go for that one eye at the bottom. I'm not sure if that is a significant strategy or not that a lot of people use, but if it is, I would like to know. Maybe I can implement that into my overall strategy. I am taking a pretty substantial amount of damage here. What I would like to do is maybe get my rage built up. I'm taking way more damage than I definitely should at this point. I would like to get my rage built up quite a bit maybe over the course of this first set of health I have. And since I do have the Sun card, I can go to work on Mom, I guess, after I get my damage up and my health refilled by way of the Sun card. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Sun card also has a map kind of mechanic and the compass, so it's overall one of the best items I think in the entire game. It could have worked well as like an actual item that you could use. Actually, maybe that wouldn't work because it would just, I'd probably be too overpowered at this point, because in this game the best items, I guess, or the items that take the longest to recharge, take 6 rooms. I think using that every 6 rooms would definitely be overpowered. I can only imagine getting a map and a compass on every floor for the price of one item, and a refill on your health every 6 rooms, and also it damages the enemies. So overall, that'd probably not be a good idea. And I did not think that was actually going to take out Mom there. I went ahead and used the Sun card there because I thought I would go ahead and enter the attack Mom phase. Just going to go ahead and skip this, I guess. If you're watching the Let's Play for the plot of The Binding of Isaac, probably not the best place to go. But yeah, I thought I would go ahead and enter the damage Mom phase, but it went ahead and killed Mom, so that definitely did more damage than I thought it would. However, that is the first episode of Let's Play The Binding of Isaac. If you liked it, let me know. I would really love to do more of these. I'll probably become a little bit more comfortable with it as we progress. Pretty much every other game that I've ever done, I know exactly what's going to happen, and thereby pretty much exactly everything I'm going to say. So in a game like The Binding of Isaac, it is definitely a game that is not quite, it's up my alley as far as gameplay and stuff goes, but as far as a commentator and a content creator, I guess, it is quite a bit different than like Kingdom Hearts or whatever else I've done on the channel. But anyway, like I said, if you liked it, let me know. I will definitely do more. It's not going to end when the next Let's Play starts by any means, I don't think, as of right now. But I want to thank you guys for watching the first episode of Let's Play The Binding of Isaac. It feels a little bit weird saying that, but I'm proud to be bringing you guys this game. I will see you guys back for the next episode.